Welcome to the deep dive. Think for a moment about the engine in your car. You know, that powerful heart getting you everywhere.
Right.
Now, think about something, well, maybe less glamorous, but absolutely crucial. The fluid sloshing around inside it.
Hmm.
The thing that stops it melting down on a hot day or, cracking apart when it's freezing cold.
Yeah, the coolant.
Exactly. It feels like such a simple, almost invisible part of the car, doesn't it? Just a liquid doing its job.
Most people don't give it a second thought.
But what if I told you this unsung hero is actually at the heart of a massive multi-billion-dollar global industry. And it's quietly undergoing some really remarkable transformations.
And that's exactly where we're headed today. We're diving deep into the automotive antifreeze market.
Okay.
We've been looking at a really comprehensive market analysis from cognitive market research, pulling out the key insights. Our mission really is to give you a shortcut to understanding this vital, but often overlooked industry.
A shortcut sounds good.
We'll cover the current trends, where it's heading, and, where the real opportunities might lie.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain then. When we talk about automotive antifreeze, what exactly are we talking about? I mean, beyond just that blue or green stuff you pour in before winter hits.
Right. Well, at its core, it's a pretty sophisticated coolant solution. It's absolutely essential for three main things in your engine.
Big things. Yeah.
Temperature management, obviously preventing freezing, and maybe the most critical bit, corrosion protection.
Corrosion. Didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's huge. It's typically a mix, usually with ethylene glycol or propylene glycol as the base.
Right, the glycols.
Exactly. And the clever part is how it works. It significantly lowers the freezing point of water, so no ice damage in the cold.
Makes sense.
But it also raises the boiling point. That stops your engine from overheating, which, can lead to really catastrophic damage, even explosions in extreme heat.
So it works at both ends of the temperature scale.
Precisely. It's all about keeping the engine performing reliably across a huge temperature range, not just fighting off frostbite.
Got it. So it's much more than just a winter helper. It's like a year-round bodyguard for the engine's health, keeping things stable, whether it's baking hot or freezing cold.
That's a great way to put it. Year-round guardian. It's always working.
Okay, so if you thought this was just some niche product, get ready. The scale of this market is actually pretty mind-blowing. How big are we really talking here? And what on earth is driving such huge demand for something most of us, barely think about?
It really is a hidden giant. Get this. In 2024, the global automotive antifreeze market was already valued at over $6.2 billion US.
Wow, $6.2 billion.
But here's the real kicker. It's projected to surge to nearly $11 billion by 2032.
$11 billion?
Yeah, with a compound annual growth rate, a CIGR, of over 7%. That's pretty robust growth.
That's huge. What's fueling that? Just more cars?
Well, more cars on the road is definitely part of it, increased vehicle production globally. But it's also a rising need for better engine economy.
Okay.
And interestingly, just increased customer awareness about, taking care of their vehicles, preventative maintenance.
Right, people understanding it matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's really key to grasp is this demand isn't just passenger cars. It's also a big deal in the construction and agricultural industries. Think heavy machinery.
Okay. Tractors, diggers, all that.
They all need reliable cooling systems too.
That growth rate, nearly $11 billion.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, where on the map is all this demand hitting hardest? What's the sort of geographical breakdown?
Good question. So historically, North America has been the leader. They held about 35% of the market back in 2023.
Okay.
Which makes sense, right? You've got those harsh winter conditions in Canada and the northern U.S. Antifreeze is just essential there.
A necessity, yeah.
Europe wasn't far behind, around 30%. Similar factors, climate, lots of vehicles, plus ongoing tech improvements in their auto sector. But the region that's really exploding, the one to watch, is Asia Pacific.
Interesting.
Yeah, it held about 25% in 2023, but it's expected to jump to 28% by 2024. And get this, it has the highest DGR of any region, a really remarkable 13%.
13%. Wow. Why such rapid growth there?
It's really fueled by accelerated industrialization. Think China, India.
Right.
And also the increasing use of really cutting-edge manufacturing processes, things like advanced laser technologies in making cars and other goods.
How do lasers connect to antifreeze?
Well, these newer high-tech processes often run hotter, demanding more sophisticated cooling for the machinery itself, so that indirectly boosts demand for high-performance coolants, including antifreeze, across the board.
Fascinating connection. So with all this growth and innovation bubbling up, who are the main players? Who are the giants in this vital but maybe slightly overlooked industry?
Yeah, it's definitely competitive, but there are a few big names that dominate. Chevron Corporation, they had the lead with about 22% market share in 2023.
Chevron, okay.
Then you've got Exxon Mobil Corporation, close behind at 19%, and Fuchs Petrolub SE at 16%.
So some major energy and chemical companies.
Exactly. And they're not just sitting back. They're constantly investing in R&D,
Yeah.
trying to improve their products.
Makes sense.
And you see a lot of strategic moves, too. Mergers, acquisitions, partnerships. They're all trying to broaden their offerings and expand their global footprint.
Their bases.
Definitely. It clearly signals they expect more competition, especially coming from that fast-growing Asia-Pacific region. New players are likely jumping in.
You mentioned innovation just now. How is this market shift, like actually forcing these big companies to change their antifreeze formulas? Are we talking totally new kinds of chemicals, especially with certain types of vehicles becoming more popular?
That's a really great point, and yeah, it's a huge driver. Absolutely. New chemistries are emerging, particularly because of the rise of high-performance cars.
Right, like sports cars or heavy-duty trucks.
Exactly. Those engines are designed to operate at much higher temperatures under really extreme stress. They demand way better cooling, thermal stability, and corrosion protection than, say, your standard family car.
So the old stuff just doesn't cut it.
Pretty much. Standard antifreeze might struggle under those severe conditions, especially in racing or, like you said, heavy-duty commercial use. So to meet this, manufacturers are pushing the envelope with advanced additives and formulations.
Any example?
Yeah, for instance, Schaeffler Automotive Aftermarket in Korea recently launched something called Schaeffler True Power. It's a coolant specifically optimized for the tough thermal needs of modern commercial vehicles, like trucks and buses.
So tailoring the product to the specific need.
Precisely. It's all about ensuring these advanced, harder-working engines perform at their peak and, crucially, last longer.
Now, every big growth story usually has some bumps in the road. What kind of obstacles or challenges are these antifreeze makers facing as they try to navigate this really dynamic market?
Oh yeah, there are definitely hurdles. One of the biggest is the volatility of raw material prices. It's a major headache.
Raw materials, so the basic ingredients.
Exactly. The main base chemicals for antifreeze, that ethylene glycol and propylene glycol, we mentioned their prices, are directly linked to crude oil prices.
Ah, okay. So when oil prices swing.
Antifreeze production costs swing right along with them. It makes planning really difficult. And then on top of that, you've got supply chain disruptions.
Always a factor these days.
Absolutely. Whether it's, geopolitical issues, natural disasters, trade restrictions, or even just transportation problems, they can all cause shortages and add even more price volatility. It's a constant balancing act for manufacturers.
That really raises a key question then. How are they adapting? Are they just, weathering the storm, or are they making real strategic changes to try and counter this volatility?
They're definitely not just sitting on their hands. They're being pretty proactive, actually. We're seeing a significant increase in investment into research for novel, bio-based antifreeze formulations.
Bio-based, like from plants?
Potentially, yes,
Yeah.
or other renewable sources. The big strategic aim here is to reduce their dependence on those traditional petrochemical raw materials.
To decouple from oil prices, basically.
Exactly. Make themselves less vulnerable to those unpredictable price swings and all the associated supply chain risks. It's a really interesting shift towards more stable and, importantly, more sustainable sourcing.
So if we connect all these dots, look at the bigger picture. What does the future really hold for antifreeze? It sounds like it's already changing fast, but what's next? What's on the horizon?
The future looks incredibly dynamic, honestly, full of innovation. We're seeing several major trends taking shape. First off, there's a really strong push towards eco-friendly and bio-based options.
The sustainability angle again.
Definitely. Environmental rules are getting tighter everywhere, and consumers increasingly want greener products. So expect more non-toxic, biodegradable coolants may be derived from things like propylene glycol made from renewables or other plant-based compounds.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Secondly, and this might surprise some people, the rise of electric and hybrid vehicles is actually creating a huge new need for specialized thermal management.
But EVs don't have traditional engines needing antifreeze, do they?
Not for the engine, no. But they absolutely need advanced coolants for their batteries and complex electric components. Managing battery temperature is critical for performance, safety, and lifespan.
Cooling the batteries, right.
Exactly. So it requires completely new antifreeze formulations designed just for those systems. There's actually a company, Arteco NV, building a new production site in China right now, specifically for these emerging EV coolant needs. It should be running by early 2024.
Wow. Okay, so EVs are creating demand, not killing it.
In a different way, yes.
Hmm.
Then thirdly, the automotive aftermarket continues to grow. People are keeping cars longer, focusing more on preventative maintenance.
Right, wanting things to last.
So that fuels demand for premium, long-life antifreeze formulas that offer better protection. Fourth, think about this, smart technology integration.
Smart antifreeze, how would that work?
Well, it's probable we'll see systems that can monitor coolant temperature and condition in real time,
Hmm.
maybe even adjust circulation automatically to optimize efficiency.
Hmm.
Better performance, longer engine life.
Okay, that's pretty futuristic.
It's on the cards.
Hmm.
And finally, just a simple global expansion. The car industries in developing nations, think India, China, Southeast Asia, they're still growing rapidly.
Yeah.
That presents huge new markets and opportunities for antifreeze producers.
So we've taken this deep dive into automotive antifreeze, and it's really clear that this seemingly simple liquid is actually sitting right at the crossroads of some massive global shifts, isn't it?
It really is.
Environmental sustainability, cutting-edge tech innovation, changing consumer habits.
Ah,
It's all reflected in this bottle of coolant.
yeah, it's a great reminder that even the most, unassuming components can tell you a lot about bigger trends.
Definitely.
And like we discussed, the market is set for some really dynamic growth. But it's going to demand serious adaptability from the manufacturers to keep up with these challenges and grab those opportunities.
Yeah.
It's really a compelling snapshot of that broader push towards efficiency and sustainability happening across the whole automotive world.
So next time you hear about electric vehicles or smart car technology, maybe spare a thought for the unsung hero, the antifreeze, quietly evolving under the hood, doing its vital job. Makes you wonder, what other invisible industries out there do you think are undergoing such profound shifts right now, quietly reshaping our future?